To get started, here I have 2 to 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. I will be putting the weighed measurements and ingredients in the description below. So somewhere between 2 to 2 1/4 cups of all-purpose flour. To that, I am going to add 1 tablespoon of baking powder. And if you are using unsalted butter, you can add 1 1/4 teaspoon of salt, or a teaspoon of salt. Really, it's up to how much salt you want to put in your biscuit dough. So now I'm going to add 8 tablespoons or 1 stick of cold salted butter. And now I'm going to use my dough cutter to mix in the butter. Now I'm going to mix in 8 fluid ounces of buttermilk. And I'm going to use the wooden spoon to get it started, and eventually I am going to turn this out onto my board. I'm going to flour my surface, and then I'm going to put my dough right onto the surface, the floured surface. Now what I'm going to do is roll out my biscuit dough. Now, before I forget, I should have done this first, so make sure you do this before you roll out your biscuit dough. Here I have 5 tablespoons of softened salted butter. I'm going to add a packed cup of dark brown sugar, and 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. And if you're not using salted butter and using unsalted, just add a pinch of salt and give that a really good mix. I think that'll work. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to roll this out a little bit more. Okay, so this is carefully rolled out. Now I'm going to spread my brown sugar butter mixture, my cinnamon brown sugar butter mixture, all over the surface. And again, this is a cross between a biscuit and a cinnamon roll, so you know the flavor profile, especially the spread here, it's that pretty much the flavor profile of what you would use for cinnamon rolls. And I'm not going to take it all the way to the edge. And now you're going to carefully fold it. And it's not going to be this tight roll, kind of how you try to do it with cinnamon rolls. There we go. And I do want to enclose it. Okay, so you're going to take a sharp knife, and I guess you could do it with floss as well. I'm just going to use a sharp knife. So let's do one right in the middle, and then we'll go there we go. And that's like the cross between a biscuit and a cinnamon roll. I'm going to continue the process and I'll show you how I put them in my baking dish. Okay, so these are going to bake in a preheated oven at 425 degrees Fahrenheit for about 15 minutes or so, or until they're done. I did cut 8, and this is actually the size of this pan is a 2.7 quart baking dish, around an 8 by 12, and I thought it fit pretty good in here. So into the oven. Okay, so for the icing, I have 3/4 cup of confectioner sugar. To that, I'm going to add a 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Yeah, that'll do. And now I'm going to drizzle in some 1/2 and 1/2. I'll start with a tablespoon and work it in. And it looks like a tablespoon and a 1/2 to 2 tablespoons will do the trick for this. Okay, so my Cinnabiscuits are done. And this is a beautiful cross between biscuits and cinnamon rolls. As you can see, the biscuit is cooked all the way through, but it's still tender and flaky. So I am going to let this set for about 5 minutes. I hope you give this recipe a try. I hope you like it, and thanks for watching.